about the they support this team like crazy. They have been such a crucial part to the amazingness of this team. One, I have to scream. All right, now I'm not screaming. Are you? Oh, he's telling. I got this. All right, so basically, what I was trying to say was.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Panzer Athletic Center. We are here for an amazing matchup for Montclair State Volleyball. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm Luke Sirianni, joined by CJ Staniak. The Scarlet Raiders are in town here at Panzer. And CJ, I'm really excited for the matchup we have tonight.
Oh, well, Luke, it is an honor to be here. It's the best time of the year for college sports on this campus in Montclair State. We're in the fall. We're nearing the playoffs. It's senior night here at Panzer Athletic Center, and with the playoffs on the horizon, we should be in for a fun one tonight.
And to start us off, we have Vincent Picone on the sideline with some fun information about today's game. Vincent.
At Panzer, and Luke, may I say, you are looking dashing today. A little bit different of a fit, but you're still looking good, my man. Well, guys, I got the great opportunity to talk to Coach Stawinski prior to today's game, and I got to ask him about the two seniors being honored today, Katie Rodman and Rachel Kern, and he told me at the highest regard, these are two crucial players to his team. He said that they are such supporters. They do so much for the team on and off the court. He even went as far to say that last semester, they were both in Italy studying abroad, and they were still doing stuff for the team. They were helping the freshmen in, bringing them into the team, making them feel at home, and that's just how much they mean to this team. It's a crucial game tonight, and it's going to be proven to see if they can get into the playoffs. It's going to be a lot of fun, but we'll see what happens. We're going to see you guys in a little bit. We're going to send it back to the booth. CJ and Luke, take it away, my guys.
Well, Vincent, thank you so much for that report. And CJ, the NJAC Conference playoffs are on the horizon now, and for Montclair State, they've been red hot this year. 7 in the last 10 matchups, 4 of those being 3-0 sweeps. And I'll tell you what, their conference record's looking even better this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And after they lost their conference opener against William Patterson, Montclair then ripped off 6 straight victories, 5 of them against conference opponents. They sit atop the NJAC as of now with just one conference matchup following tonight. That'll be against Kane. As a reminder, the top 6 in the standings will earn a bid to the NJAC tournament, the top 2 seeds getting a first-round bye. And while the Redhawks have put themselves in a favorable position in recent weeks, they must keep their foot on the gas to end the season.
And CJ, one of our favorite games to play here at the Redhawks Sports Network is if the season ended today type game. And I'll tell you what, we're going to take a look at what the bracket would look like if that were the case. And Montclair State, as you can see on our full screen, they would be the 1 seed, taking on the winner of Kane and Rowan. And on the other side, William Patterson has the bye, and they will face the winner of Stockton and NJCU. And if I'm personally Montclair State, CJ, I would want to face Rowan. But is there a team particularly that you wouldn't want to face?
Well, I don't know that anybody can hang with the Redhawks when they play like they did against the Profs last week. I mean, they won in straight sets, a dominant performance. But one team for me to keep an eye on is that Kane Cougars. They have not played them yet. Of course, we'll know more next week. But they are battle-tested. They've played an incredibly tough schedule to start the year. They played multiple ranked teams for Kane, and after a tiebreaker set victory over Rowan on Tuesday, they're picking up steam at the right time.
Yeah, and I mean, just looking at tonight's matchup, all time facing the Scarlet Raiders, Montclair State has a record of 23-24 versus their opponent. But something to note in that, CJ, is they've won the last 6 in a row. It's something that they think they can keep rolling tonight. Based on the records and the matchups, I really like their chances.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for Montclair State, as you mentioned, on an absolute heater at the moment, they've won 6 straight games. And so for them, you got to keep your foot on the gas today. You can't get, a little bit too comfortable in where you are, as to say. You're playing an opponent who has a worse record than you, but any given night here in the NJAC. So Montclair State going to have to keep that same humbleness that they've continued throughout the entire season.
And let's talk about this matchup we have a little bit more in detail. For tonight's game, Montclair State's coming off a 3-0 sweep versus Rowan. It's one of the biggest rivalries here in the NJAC Conference, CJ. And for Rutgers Scarlet Raiders, it's the opposite. They actually got swept 3-0 against Gwinnett Mercy University. So, I mean, both teams tonight are something to play for, but I think for the Scarlet Raiders, they really have something to prove here against a top opponent.
Well, the thing with Rutgers-Newark is that they are coming into this game, and every game matters right now at the end of the year. They're fighting for a playoff spot. So for them, they could just be a little bit hungrier. They're coming off of a tough loss, but it wasn't conference play. So you can look at that, learn from that, and kind of just put it to rest. Come into this game ready to climb the standings and play a tough game against a tough team.
Yeah, Montclair State tonight really have the advantage on paper, that is, at least. A winning record, 13-6 overall, 8-2 at home. They're just so great here at Panzer, CJ. 4-1 in conference play. For the away Scarlet Raiders, it's not so great compared to these Red Hawks. 10-13 overall, 1-4 in conference, and then 3-7 on the road. So I really think tonight's matchup's a little lopsided, and I think the Red Hawks, if they play the game that I know that they could play, I really like their chances.
Yeah, I mean, they've been fantastic in the regular season, and really, regular season success is nothing new for Montclair State. I mean, they've taken part in every NJAC tournament since 2006, but since that conference crown 8 years ago, they have yet to find similar results in the postseason. And last season, their worst finish since 2016, a first-round exit at the hands of Kane. So, fueled by last year's disappointment, this year and this season stands as an opportunity for the Red Hawks to mark a new era for this program.
And then the NJAC tournament history, you see it on the screen there. They lost to Kane in the quarters last year, 3-1. I think this is the year that they really bounced back in the playoffs. You saw the semifinals. Last time they were in the championship was 2021. I think this is the year, CJ, and we talked about it. They have a lot of youth on this team, but the freshmen and sophomores that see the court, they look very comfortable, and to me, they remind me a little bit of an upperclassman group.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a team that, and it's interesting because we talked about senior night, but only 2 seniors on this roster and a ton of productivity coming from these freshmen and sophomore here on this team. I know Coach Stawinski has talked at length about them throughout the season. It's going to be absolutely huge for them to come through, and especially in a postseason environment where you may not be used to playing a game at home or playing with a packed crowd with tension, with your season on the line. It's something that they're going to have to get used to, but I think they're ready to step up to the test.
Yeah, and as Vincent mentioned, and you heard from CJ right in the intro, tonight's senior night. 2 seniors on the team for Montclair State. I think, again, just leave it all on the court. I feel like you're going to miss it when it's done, but I know the 2 seniors are going to be missed really well this year.
Absolutely, and Katie Rodman actually on that team that went to the championship back in 2021. So she is somebody who no doubt has their eyes set on that prize throughout the year. The 4th-year libero out of Langhorne, Pennsylvania. I mean, she's been a clear leader on and off the court. She's first in digs for Montclair State and 3rd in the NJAC in digs. She also leads the Red Hawks in aces. She does a ton of different things for this team. Also studied abroad in Madrid. So, I mean, we talked about these seniors, and they were able to go overseas, seen a bunch of things, done a bunch of things, productive on and off the court. She received Defensive Player of the Week back in Week 6, and she's trying to get something going today and continue this hot stretch for the Red Hawks as they head into the NJAC tournament.
Yeah, and speaking of all the amazing things she's done on the court, you talked about her resume studying in Madrid, which I think is awesome. She's such a great leader of this team, and one of the veterans, obviously, for senior night. I feel like she's been a very good role model for these younger players. You see it on the court. When there's a mistake, everybody has their head down. She gets the team together. Listen, we got to put our heads up, put it behind us. And I think this team right now is really going to use her leadership, the momentum into the playoffs. It's really something to look out for.
Yeah, certainly. And leadership is perhaps the one question mark, with this team. We said it. 2 seniors, one of which being a transfer last year, so hasn't spent, as much time with the program as a typical senior. But I think for Montclair right now, the mentality that they have is nobody's above the other person. And I think they've been able to feed off of each other, and some of that energy that these younger players have been able to bring. I mean, it's just been a storyline and a treat to watch throughout the entire season.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, to your point, I think they believe they could take anybody, and that's rightfully so. It's why they're the 1 seed. And there's a lot of talented players on the court. We talked about a couple pivotal players. We'll get into a couple more. It's very obvious. I think it's Cameron Muse, the freshman standout. She's been out of control this year. Currently leads the team in 254 kills, awarded NJAC Rookie of the Year in 2 consecutive weeks this season, and obviously going to be a key piece for the future for Coach Stawinski. She literally went to Legend High School in Colorado, where she's been playing at the end of 4 years, and that's what she'll be doing here at Montclair State. That's what I find amazing, too. She came all the way from Colorado just to play here on this team, and I see why. Coach Stawinski must have went really hard in that application process to bribe her to get here.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing about this Montclair team, a bunch of people coming from different states. But for the Scarlet Raiders, I'm going to focus on somebody that's from New Jersey, from West Orange. It's also another NJAC rookie. That's Tracy Ildris. She is a junior, but in her first year of collegiate play and has quickly taken charge as the lead contributor on this team. She's the team leader in points, kills, tied for the lead in aces. She took home Rookie of the Week honors back in Week 4. She does a number of different things for this Scarlet Raiders team. They're going to need her to come through tonight.
She's one to look out for, and I think right now the matchup's going to be really exciting. I want to see how the Scarlet Raiders could manage the Montclair State attack, because they have so many players that just kill after kill, and a lot of players that know how to dig as well. So I think it's going to be very interesting to go into today's matchup.
Yeah, this Montclair team is one that's pretty dominant at the net, and they're not going to pull any punches on you. They're going to bump, set, spike, and they're going to get to the net, and they're going to dominate you from there. But one thing that Rutgers-Newark does very well is block. They have a ton of different players on this team who are way up there in blocks for the season. So the battle at the net tonight is something that's going to be absolutely huge to watch.
Right, because you could push back the other way, right? Lily Thomas from Montclair State's very good at the net. Sophia Lopez is another one that really meets the ball every time. So it's going to be fun. I think that's something to look out for. It might be the main matchup for tonight. But I'll tell you what, if they can control that part of it, they're going to be great. And another senior, I just want to give her props to, Rachel Curran, one of the leaders of this team. As actually Katie Rodman will walk out first. And as CJ mentioned, leading the team in digs this season. And then we have Rachel Curran, who was an honorable mention at All-NJAC in 2023. This season, over 100 kills and digs in 60 sets played. Two players that Coach Stawinski is going to miss for the future, but for sure they've really made their mark here as a Red Hawk.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that last year, and things have kind of gone downhill since Rodman's first year here. They lost in the championship that year, then they lost in the semis, then they lost in the quarters. So things have kind of gone, in a downward slope for her. But like I said, with Montclair State, this is a new era for them, I think. With this new freshman class, it's kind of a mark of a new era. And without these two seniors, who knows where this team would be this year? They would be lost, to say the least.
Right, because as we mentioned, speaking of leaders, you always need that one figure that's been around the game. Again, a lot of these freshmen and sophomores have been standouts in high school, but as great as they are, they're very new to this collegiate program. So I totally like what you said there. And CJ, I think you know a little bit about the three keys to the game today.
Yeah, and so our own Vincent Bacone, wonderful as always, caught up with Coach Stawinski before the game. And what Coach Stawinski said, as you see the seniors being honored here, serve well. Do not hit to the middle. You got to keep the ball away from the blockers on the serve. As well, the defense needs to be the top. They need to keep the blockers on point. They need to get it back to the offense. And like we said, they like to get damage done at the net. They're going to have to kind of take charge, and that starts with the defense. And last thing, they just need to communicate. I mean, it seems like the most simple and the most cliche thing to say in sports, but it really does come through, and it's another big thing that these teams need to do on both sides, really, if they want to get anything going, especially headed into the rest of the season.
I feel like that communication aspect goes well for all sports, right? If you don't talk and you might collide for that ball, but if you talk and you're all on the same page, it's really going to go smoothly for you. And I think this Red Hawk team has communicated great this year, because I did the game last week against Rowan. Obviously, you mentioned before, swept them on 3-0 sets. And I'll tell you what, that sweep did not go without great communication.
No, and this is a Montclair team that hasn't lost a set in 3 games now. So obviously the communication at an all-time high, as we will pause now, I believe, for the national anthem. Teams lining up, but this is a massive opportunity for this team to continue the string of things. But on the flip side, it could go wrong if they don't communicate properly.
So we're going to give you the starting lineups for the visiting Scarlet Raiders. Number 2, Angelise Orellana. Number 6, Jade Simba Molestori. Number 12, Melina EJ. Number 17, Desara Malcolm. Number 23, Bella Foster. Tracy Adaris is the outside hitter. And the libero from Bridgewater, New Jersey, actually from my town, Brianna Rojas, to round it all off for Rutgers Scarlet Raiders.
Beautiful town of Bridgewater.
Great town, as you know. So for your home Montclair State Redhawks, I'll give us the lineups right now. Sarah Capone, the freshman. Number 10, Rachel Curran on senior night. Emily Karsich, the junior center. Lily Thomas, the sophomore. Number 16, Cameron Muse, our player to watch for tonight. Sophia DeProfio. And our other senior standout, Katie Rodman, the libero. CJ, I'm really excited for this game. I mean, two great matchups, a lot of talent on both sides here. And it's senior night, so if you're the Redhawks, I would just leave it all out there. But we're going to take a quick pause here for the national anthem. We will be right back. Right, welcome back to the Redhawks Sports Network, and we are ready for this volleyball matchup here at Panzer. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday night. I'm Luke Sirianni, joined by CJ Standingak. If you're just joining us and missed our pregame, welcome to the broadcast. We're really excited for this one as Montclair really look to get closer to that playoff push.
And for me, I think headed into this game as these two teams shake hands and get ready for this game, this first set is the most important right now if you're Rutgers-Newark. Like I mentioned in the pregame, Montclair State has not lost a set in 3 games. If you can throw them off their game right now by winning this first set, it will go a long way for the rest of this one.
That's what they need to do, I think. I think that's their best chance to win tonight and upset the Redhawks. I think they really have to start this set off right. But as we know, this Montclair State team is no joke, especially in that starting lineup.
No, and I mean, it is just, this team is deep. Front to back, this roster is capable of producing at the highest level. It certainly won't be easy, but you got to take control of things right away if you're the Scarlet Raiders.
So it looks like the Redhawks might be starting with the ball. Actually, we're just going to wait on that just to be sure. But again, two teams in the same conference, a lot of talent on each side. Both share the same school colors as well, red, white, black.
And also, Montclair State looking to complete the Rutgers sweep on the year. I was able to call that game, Rutgers-Camden. They ended up winning that game against Rutgers-Camden, and now trying to do it versus Rutgers-Newark and complete the Scarlet sweep, as we call it.
Yeah, that's something. That's an interesting point there to look out for today. As we get ready, the Redhawks are on the court, giving high fives, ready to go. Scarlet Raiders look like they're all set up as well. So it's going to be Katie Rodman that will kick us off today on senior night. Katie Rodman's ready. Scarlet Raiders are ready, and we're underway at Panzer Athletic Center. Dug out by Aduris. Up in the air. Arella sends it over. Dug out by Curran. Karsich sets it up. Dug down, but out of bounds from Sophia Capone, a little too strong. Rutgers-Newark starts off hot.
Yeah, I mean, I like the setup there from Montclair State. They get it to Sarah Capone right away on that right side, and she just blasts it a little bit too far. And I like what Montclair State did there, just unable to come away with the point to get this thing started.
Brianna Rojas back out to serve for the Scarlet Raiders. Rachel Curran digs it out. Emily Karsich sets it up. Faked. Cameron Muse over the top. Dug out by Rojas. Up in the air, Orellana dug up by Karsic that time. Katie Robbins sets it up. Cameron Muse will tap it right over. Scarlet Raiders now back on possession. Aduris down, met at the net by Sarah Capone. Capone again attempts the fake spike, still alive. Dug out by Rodman. Karsic over to Lily Thomas, met up at the net by the Rutgers-Newark.
And this is something we talked about before the game. Not exactly sure who got the block there in the middle. Could have been Ilduris, could have been Foster. They were both in the area, but this is a team that will block, and Montclair State is going to have to be ready for that, particularly in the middle of the net.
And CJ, you talked about starting set one right. I know it's very early, but a 2-0 start for the Scarlet Raiders looks pretty good right now. Lily Thomas met up at the net, and it's a 3-0 run for Rutgers-Newark to begin this one.
And the middle of the net is just not working right now for the Redhawks. They're going to have to get it out to the outside. Right now they're trying it with Thomas through the middle, and it's gotten rejected on back-to-back plays.
So we'll keep an eye on that, if how Montclair could address that middle of the court, as Rojas will serve it. Emily Karsic up in the air. Cameron Muse. And it's going to clip that corner for the first point. That was a great play.
Yeah, Cameron Muse getting involved for the first time, and I'm sure that's a name that we will hear all throughout today's game. 3-time NJAC Rookie of the Week, Week 6 NJAC Player of the Week, and the NJAC leader in kills per set. We will see her a ton tonight.
Had a season high of 30 kills as well earlier this year against Stockton. That's very impressive. As we see Emma Hatcher into the game for the Redhawks. Met up at the net by 2, and a little bit of a miscommunication between Karsic and Thomas. So it'll be a 3-point lead now for the Raiders.
Yeah, nice job. Bella Foster, the freshman, she's second on the team in kills per set, and that time just getting a tap over, a little awkward play there. Didn't have it set to her perfectly, but able to get the job done for the Scarlet Raiders.
So we'll see Arisa Kalaj to serve, as Rojas will take a breather. Dug out by Rachel Curran. Emily Karsic sets up Cameron Muse. Muse met at the net, but it's going to be a Redhawk point.
Yeah, I believe it got blocked out of bounds there by the Raiders, and they're doing a really nice job at the net right now. I think they're defending this spike attack very well, but that time just sailing out of bounds.
Cameron Muse sends it over to Masale. Iridis over the top, met at the net by 2. I think it was Lily Thomas that might have gotten a finger on that. The Redhawks are starting to climb back now.
Yeah, that's Ilduris, the team leader in kills, points, aces over there for Rutgers-Newark. It's another person that we're going to hear a ton today, and that is their dynamite on their offensive side.
Orellana sets it up, blocked by Lily Thomas. Going to be a meet-up at the net here. And looks like a net violation. The advantage will go to the Raiders. 5-3 lead now here in set number 1.
Yeah, it looks like that time just stepping over the line, perhaps, was it for the Redhawks, and as a result, it'll be Scarlet Raider point. They now lead this thing 5-3 pretty early on.
Iduris will serve, and that will be a service error, as Montclair, CJ, really starting to climb back now.
Yeah, they're making their way back into this, and that's just one mistake you can't afford to have happen if you're Rutgers-Newark. You know, like I said, this first set, incredibly important. You're playing against a very talented roster. You can't just give away points like that.
We'll see the first of Emily Ferry now on the serve. 28 kills this year with 31 digs. Sophia DeProfio just tapped that one over, made it look easy. Now the Redhawks have climbed all the way back. We are tied at 5.
Yeah, and that all started with Ferry on the serve. A really nice serve. It kind of threw the Raiders off the mark. They weren't able to set anything up, and DeProfio able to finish the job on the other side.
Shout out Mrs. Curran with the Rachel Curran senior night, as Emily Ferry with the proper kill from the serve. 6-5, the Redhawks' first lead of the day now.
Back-to-back absolute screamers there from Ferry, doing a really nice job. Able to throw Montclair into the lead with 2 serves just like that.
We'll see Ferry at it again, as an incredible dig out there by Nicole Sullivan. Iduris taps it over, Rachel Curran digs it out. Here's Karsic on the set. Back to Rachel Curran. Great dig by Iduris. Still in the air, tapped over. Emma Hatcher digs it out. Karsic, fake set, taps it over. It's still alive. Huge meetup at the net. Amazing dig by Cameron Muse. And hold on, they just called the play dead, but that was a clean dig, I believe.
You're right, Luke. I mean, that ball was kept off the ground here, and Coach Stawinski unsure of the call there. He's out onto the floor at one point, trying to figure out why, and it looks like perhaps we're going to have a reserve here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to give it back to the Redhawks, which is the right thing to do. Once you blow that play dead, there's no going back. So I like the referee's decision there to try to make it fair. Ferry fires that one over. It's going to be a service error. And Rutgers-Newark back on top now.
Yeah, and as they say, ball don't lie, Luke. The serve just going a little long from Ferry there. She had a nice string of serves there, just left that one a little bit long.
It was great to see Ferry on the court. She just checked out, but even last year when she came in, she really made a difference right off the bat in 34 sets played. And as she made an impact there, it's going to take a breather. Emily Karsich, cross court to Curran. It's a successful play. Redhawks 7-6 now.
And how about the senior Curran getting involved? Second on the team in kills. All NJAC honorable mention last year when she transferred in. Huge impact on this team. They're going to have to find her throughout the night.
Over 100 kills and digs for Rachel Curran as we see Emily Karsich start off the point now for the Redhawks. Set up in the air, met at the net, dug out beautifully by Karsich. Katie Rodman taps it up. Back to Sophia Capone and just gets enough on the kill.
Yeah, nice job again. There's Capone on that right side. They haven't gone back to her in a little while, but going diagonally there and able to get it off the deflection, and 8-6 is our score.
It's been a very competitive first set, to say the very least. The Redhawks have definitely climbed back, though. Met at the net by 2, and Sophia Capone that time defensively. And CJ, that's what you talked about in the beginning of the game with being met up at the net.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. It's going to be a battle at the net all day long, and Sarah Capone doing it that time, and we've seen Lily Thomas do it. They're all capable, just have to get it done, and so far we've seen it from both sides.
Ball back up in the air, dug out by Karsich. Katie Rodman will tap it up to Sarah Capone, who tips it over. It got deflected at the net, but Rutgers Raiders kept it alive. Curran digs it out. Karsich with the set. Capone fires again. What a point we are having here. Aduris, a little too strong over the top. Point goes to the Redhawks as they take a 4-point lead now.
And it looked like the Redhawks might have been on the ropes a little bit there throughout that rally, going back and forth. They're able to weather the storm and come away with the point.
That's what it's about in volleyball, really just staying calm and composed. And you see the Redhawks did that on that play and ended up falling to the point. I'm going to make a great catch here. Sorry, CJ. I might have
Well
stolen
done,
it from
Luke.
you.
Way to keep me safe, big guy.
That makes it 2 catches for me now in the past 2 games. I guess
You're a magnet over here.
Yeah, sub me in, coach. Anyways, 10-7 for the Redhawks, 3-point lead. As Cameron Muse tried to dig it out, and actually Emily Karsich kept that one alive. I'm surprised.
Yeah, you're not going to see Karsich throw a ton over the net, but got put into a weird situation there. Muse kind of hit the ball with the side of her hand. Karsich, nice job, able to just kind of get it over and find an opening.
Orlana fires it over, dug out by Muse. Emily Karsich taps it to Curran. Rachel Curran with fires and successfully earns the point there, 11-8.
And the Redhawks starting to find their role now. In the beginning of this set, making a couple of errors and trying to set things up. They weren't getting the ball far enough to the outside, but they've had no issue with that the last few times around.
They had a rocky start to set number 1, but it's all how you shake it off as 2 players there dive, and Orlana unfortunately couldn't keep it alive for the Scarlet Raiders. It's now a 4-point lead, their largest of the day for Montclair State.
Yeah, Orlana had to come in and try to dive. It was a little miscommunication there. Desiree Malcolm kind of went away from the ball. I think everybody else expected her to come away with it.
A little too much on that one for Rachel Curran. It will be a service error, but CJ, it almost seems like every time Montclair lose the point, they just win it back on the next one.
They've done a really nice job of limiting the momentum that the Scarlet Raiders have been able to come up with today for sure.
Dug out there by Katie Rodman. Emily Karsich sets it over for DeProfio, who successfully puts it away for the 13th point of set number 1, as she will check out for Lily Thomas.
And the spread attack from Montclair State, I mean, there's not one player who's getting all of these attacks here for Montclair. It is a number of different players. You see DeProfio come in, get it done, and then promptly check out. Just speaks to the depth on this team.
The Scarlet Raiders scramble there as Aduris just taps it over. Cameron Muse on fires and hits the point. And that's the Cameron Muse we know. She's been a little quiet here in set number 1, but once she gets going, I think the kills will start to pile up.
Yep, just the second kill of the set for her. But able to come through there on the left side. And anytime you see her swinging over there, you know it's going to be an issue if you're on the other side of it.
Absolutely. Aduris digs that one out, and she taps it over. Emily Karsich over to Sarah Capone. Met up at the net by Aduris. Scarlet Raiders will keep it alive. They'll fire it over. Katie Rodman sets it up for Emily Karsich. Cameron Muse, it's going to be a close one, and the point's going to go to the Scarlet Raiders. That was super close.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was on purpose. I think Muse whiffed on it a little bit, mistimed it, got it off kind of the side of the hand, ended up going diagonally to a perfect spot, but just a little wide.
I think she tried to fake it to spike it straight down and then sent it across because we saw some open space near us, CJ, on this right-hand side. Katie Rodman just saved that point as she dove at one hand to dig it out. Iduris taps it over, and second time's the charm there versus Katie Rodman to earn that one.
Yeah, Rodman smiling there. I mean, two different attempts. The first dig, absolutely phenomenal by her. Able to get the hands below it. A sprawl to the floor, but second one just a little short of her reach.
The effort's always there for Katie Rodman, especially defensively. As Rojas will check back in, who serves it over. Cameron Muse, fake spike. It did not trick Angelise or Alana. Iduris sends it over, dug out by Rodman. Up in the air from Karsic. Sarah Capone fires and hits.
And Muse at first on that point there, trying to go soft, and that's the thing, you fear the big swing, and then she goes a little soft touch, but it was played nicely by the Raiders. They've done a pretty solid job defensively, but just too many weapons here early for Montclair State.
Yeah, and Sarah Capone has had a very strong start to set number one. As we see Emma Hatcher fire it, and maybe it would have been too strong, but Nicole Sullivan decided to touch it beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough decision to make there. Split second, you kind of have to decide if you're going to play that or not. Just couldn't get the hands up to it, caught her in a weird spot, but I am curious if she would have let that go, if that would have been long.
And we're going to see a timeout here from the Scarlet Raiders, and I got to ask you, CJ, I mean, what have you noticed here in set number one? I feel like it's been very much a seesaw back and forth, but now you see Montclair pull away with a 5-point lead.
Well, honestly, I feel like we've talked a lot about the Red Hawks, and they've done a lot of really nice things. I think that Rutgers-Newark has done a nice job of, while they're not on top of their game right now, and I would say that they're being outplayed, they've kept this thing fairly close. Sovani Khan wanting to talk about it over there on that bench. And let's touch on Coach Sovani Khan in her second season at Rutgers-Newark, as we'll check the replay here. And you see that block there at the net. I believe that was Sarah Capone. They've done a really nice job today getting work done at the net, whether it would be spikes, blocks. It's a part that Montclair has been looking to integrate, those blocks, and they're just finally able to do it right now. But Sovani Khan in her second season for Rutgers-Newark, raised in Alaska, Luke.
Wow.
And a head coach at Lehman and Sarah Lawrence prior to Rutgers-Newark, but certainly an interesting story. She was born in Laos, ended up growing up in Alaska, which jumps off the page in itself, and now here in beautiful New Jersey, of course.
Definitely a change of scenery,
Oh,
to say
that
the
it
least.
is.
16-11, we're going to resume play with an Emma Hatcher serve. In the air by Orsile. Lily Thomas met up at the net, and a successful point. That was what we talked about in pregame. Lily Thomas is very aggressive at the net.
Yeah, very aggressive, and I think the Raiders there just didn't get the set in the perfect spot. Bella Foster kind of got it off the fingertips a little bit, and anytime you don't get all of your palm on it, Lily Thomas is going to be there to reject it.
Too strong there for Emma Hatcher. The point will go back to Rutgers-Newark, but Lily Thomas there just marked her 75th kill of the year, and most of those kills are right at that net where she is usually positioned somewhat in the middle. And CJ, I got to give it to you. You nailed this pregame analysis about what was going to go on today. You said defense was a big part, and right now it's been two very strong defensive teams.
Yeah, there's Lily Thomas doing it again, and it's something that has been noticeable. In the beginning of the game, Rutgers-Newark, they were able to get a ton of blocks at the net, and that has kind of dropped off since then, and you see Montclair kind of racking up the score now, and I think that's a direct result.
18-12, a 6-point lead as we're going to see the first of Brian Batista. Great dig out by Nicole Sullivan. Tapped over the top. Batista digs it out. Over to Karsic. Sends across court to Curran. And, yep, that's going to be a carry. The point's going to go to the Red Hawks. Arisa Kalija just tried to hold that one a little too long. You got to tap it right back up.
Yeah, and just like I said, I mean, it just seems like the Raiders getting caught in like these awkward positions. I don't know if Montclair just finding open holes and throwing them off, or if they can't find their rhythm.
Iduris fires that one over, and there it is for her. She's been a little quiet today on the offensive front, but 175 kills, I think, speaks for itself.
Yeah, it was the player I talked about that needs to get it going for the Raiders in the pregame. She's the anchor of this team and of this offense. They play through her. She'll be on that left side and now serving here.
Dug out by Hatcher. Karsic cross court to Curran, who fires. Dug out by Iduris. Going to be a meet-up at the net. And point goes to the Red Hawks. They've hit the 20-point mark.
Yep, and now holding a pretty extensive lead. And it's Karsic there, able to get it over the net. And she's been a little bit hesitant towards the net in this first set. So I'm glad to see going up with confidence that time around as Emily Ferry back to serve once again.
Ferry and DeProfio back into the game for Montclair State. Up in the air, Masarte sends it over. Karsic will set it up for Curran, who fires and successfully hits it again. Rachel Curran today is having a day on senior night.
Yeah, absolutely. Rachel Curran doing it at the best possible time. And over on that left side, and it just seems like a constant attack from that left side. You have Muse, you have Curran, and there's just no response right now from Rutgers-Newark.
Ferry will send it over, at least attempt to, and it will be a service error. But right now, I think with the 7-point lead that you have, you could afford to make mistakes here and there.
Yeah, and obviously you never want to see a service error, and it's something that you try to cut out as much as possible, but I think they've done a really nice job of limiting their mistakes up to this point, and now it's affordable.
Rodman digs it out for Karsic, fires it over to Rachel Curran, and that same play has been working all night.
They're just finding openings right now, Luke, and that's what it's all about. This Rutgers-Newark team has just had no answer for these spikes. Early on they had the blocks, but since then it's been a little bit conservative on their side, and as a result, I mean, Montclair just eating away at those openings.
Montclair State right now are 3 points away from taking set number 1. As Orlana sends it over, now be Iduris, dug out by Karsic. DeProfio tips it over, amazing dive from Sullivan. DeProfio second time, Sullivan dives and digs it out once again.
Luke, are you kidding me?
DeProfio again, dug out by Iduris. Nicole Sullivan taps it over, Karsic waves it off. Rodman sets it up, Curran fires, men at the net, and it's going to be a Red Hawk point because of a net violation. That was an amazing point.
Ball actually might have landed out over there on the far side of the net, but how about the effort from Nicole Sullivan there of Rutgers-Newark? I mean, she was on the ground, got to her feet, had to flail backwards to keep that alive. I mean, that's a great volley there and just all around solid volleyball from Rutgers-Newark, and they have nothing to show for it.
That was awesome. That's one of my favorite things about volleyball. I love when they rally back and forth for a solid minute straight. That was the longest rally of the day for sure. And now we see another timeout from the Scarlet Raiders, and CJ just 2 points away from set number 1 for the Redhawks. What would you say right now if you're Rutgers-Newark? Are you going to try to go back to early in set number 1 when you were rolling, or what would you say right now if you're in the huddle?
I mean, going to the timeout after that last rally there, that's a tough pill to swallow. You know, that was probably the best that they have played in several points. I would say, you know, a couple dozen of points there since they probably had the lead early on in this one. But you just got to find that rhythm again. Like I said, even when they've had offensive opportunities, they just seem a little bit out of whack. They haven't found their players at the net for direct kills or anything of that sort. I mean, it's all just been kind of tipping the ball over and hoping that Montclair is going to make the mistake, which they don't. They do not make those same kind of mistakes. They don't beat themselves. So you're going to have to win this game by yourself.
And to me, what still stands out to me from set number 1, CJ, is the way that the Redhawks picked their head up. They didn't start how they wanted, but they knew that it's early in set number 1, and look what not worrying about past mistakes have done for them right now. They lead 23-14 in set number 1. Resuming play here. Fired over. Dug out by Brian Batista. Karsic sets it up to Rachel Curran, who fires again. Iduris digs it out. Tapped over the top. Orlana sends it over. Karsic up in the air. For Capone, who gets the successful kill, just 1 point away from taking set number 1.
Sarah Capone, time and time again today, has been a fantastic job, and they're all just playing everything toward the middle. Nothing is going toward the out of bounds or markers or anything on the sideline there. As now set point early for the Redhawks.
And just how you said it, CJ, set point. Redhawks take set number 1 as it's a great serve from the Redhawks, 25-14 in set number 1. I think that's how you want to start right now. They just really set the tone early, and just have an 11-point lead going into set number 2 in the first set. I think it speaks volume.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What did we say in the pregame? You know, Montclair State, this first set, and for both teams, mostly for Rutgers-Newark, this first set is absolutely crucial, and they came out firing. I mean, you throw Montclair on their heels right away, and who knows what can happen, and that's exactly what they did. But credit to the Redhawks. They did a fantastic job of responding. They never got down on themselves. They played their game, which is a solid 25 points of volleyball there. They did a really nice job of working through any issues that they had in the early goings, and a dominant first set, and it's set to what we've seen throughout these past few games for them.
It was amazing to see Rachel Curran back on the court for an extended period of time in this first set. It brought me back to last year when she was one of the best players on this team. She had 6 kills. She leads everybody on the court, the Red Hawk leader. And then for Scarlet Raiders, Iduris, who we talked about in the pregame, You know, she has 175 kills, 150 digs, but most of her success today has been defensively. But my favorite part about set number 1, CJ, is the effort everybody's putting out. How many times have we seen a one fist dive to save a dig or to save a point?
Yeah.
It was almost every play, I felt like.
Yeah, Katie Rodman from Montclair State, Nicole Sullivan for Rutgers-Newark, both of the liberos doing dirty work in that first set. Not afraid to hit the hardwood, and it really speaks to both of these teams. Really, I mean, Sullivan, even for a team that they're down 10 points at that point, they're getting ready. They're down 20-13, 23-13. It's like, what do you have left in the tank? And her willingness to play those balls and throw her body on the line, it does show something for this Scarlet Raider team. And then obviously you look over on the Red Hawk side, and really Katie Rodman's able to open this thing up as a whole for Montclair State. She started the NJAC in digs. We know that she leads the team in digs, and that's exactly what we saw there in that first set. And to be able to get it off the ground, and this Montclair State team, something that they do really well is control possession. And so when you're able to dig something out like that, and you have belief in the person next to you to set something up, and all of a sudden you got all these outside hitters ready to do damage with that. I mean, it's just a great formula right now, and the secret sauce is pumping right now for Montclair State.
Yeah, you mentioned trusting the person next to you. I think in all sports, that's really the key to it, right? If you trust your teammates and they trust you. There's been a couple miscommunications between the Scarlet Raiders. They've a couple collisions, but for the Redhawks, I've noticed every time I hear somebody say, ball, I got ball, and then everybody else kind of just spreads out the other way. It's something that great teams have. That's the sense of communication is so important.
Yep.
As we're going to see Karsich, Curran, Capone, Muse, DeProfio, and Lily Thomas out on the court for the Redhawks to begin set number 2 here at Panzer Athletic Center.
Long talk there from Rutgers-Newark as they make their way back onto the court, and they're just going to have to find their rhythm here, Luke. They need to figure out what they're going to do, and it really comes down to the basics. I feel like things were just kind of, I don't want to say, they just weren't fluid, No. Everything was just kind of a jumping, on the run, moving tip over the net, and you just hope that Montclair makes a mistake, and I said it in the first set, they're not going to make that mistake. Yep. So pull it together if you're Rutgers-Newark right now, and you play your volleyball, and you can win a set and get right back in this thing.
Yeah, based on that first set, I think you said it well. It's going to be really tough to climb back right now if you're Scarlet Raiders, Rutgers-Newark. You gotta start set number 2 off right, as we see Angelise Orlana start us off here. Karsich sets it up. Cameron Muse fires, dug out by Orlana. Nicole Sullivan tries to send it over, and Malsarte will finish that job. Capone met at the net by 2, and it's going to be an early point for the Scarlet Raiders. Great start to the set.
That's something that we saw in the beginning of the first set and then just kind of went away the rest of the way, was that presence at the net for Rutgers-Newark, and getting back to it here, that's a great sign for them here in set number 2.
1-0 lead as it will just tip over with the friendly roll from the net. Unfortunate point.
Yeah, nothing you can really do there if you're the Red Hawks. I mean, it's a perfect serve, and you avoid Katie Rodman, you avoid anybody else on that Red Hawk side. So always nice to get a roll from the net.
Rodman digs it out. Karsich will keep it in play. Cameron Muse fires and just mishits it. A 3-0 lead, but can't forget in set number 1, that's kind of the start that the Scarlet Raiders did have.
Yeah, things have kind of gone the same way both times. Muse trying to go diagonal there and had the right idea. There was an opening, just found the net, and Rutgers-Newark going to have to build off this 3-0 lead.
Muse saves it and sends it over the top with a set from Capone. Nicole Sullivan, Idura fires it over. Karsich digs it out. Katie Rodman keeps it alive. Cameron Muse taps it over, and the fake spike worked there as the Redhawks get their first point in set number 2.
And when your big swings work, that allows that kind of finesse to come into play. Cameron Muse, way to bounce back right there. Really nice tap on over the net and to get Montclair State on the board.
3-1 as the Redhawks get on the board for set number 2. Katie Rodman fires. Over the top, dug out beautifully by Karsich. Cameron Muse over the top and gets that corner. Actually, no, it just went out of bounds. It will go to the Raiders. I thought it was a little closer maybe it looks a little closer over here than it was.
Yeah, obviously tough from our angle. Just a little wide over there on that far side. Muse trying to go diagonal to the back corner that time and just a little far.
Seems like that's been her signature move this year. Away from everybody else.
She also has the power to come right at you, so That versatility is what makes her so great.
That's going to be a net violation against the Scarlet Raiders. 4-2 for the Redhawks.
I got to say,
their second point.
Even with a 4-2 lead right now, and it was 4-1, 3-0, I'm still seeing the same things from the Scarlet Raiders that I saw in the first set. They're not setting up spikes well at all right now. They're just kind of throwing it over, and Montclair is beating themselves right now. And it's something that they did early on in the first set. They'll have to pull it together, but equally as important, Rutgers-Newark going to have to find some rhythm.
Too strong there from Marsarte, the freshman from Las Vegas, Nevada, as she is chasing right now her 100th kill of her career. And Hatcher sends it over, and maybe that friendly roll that we just saw earlier went the other way.
Yeah, what goes around comes around, Luke. Hatcher, I mean, it's the exact same play there, right off the top of the net. A little shooter's touch, that's what we'll call that. Rolls on over. That's exactly what she had planned, I'm sure.
The net gave the point right back the other way. It's funny. Dug out by Nicole Sullivan, who's been unbelievable today. Idura sends it over. Rodman digs it out. Cameron Muse fires, and Malsarte keeps it alive for the Scarlet Raiders. Dug out by Hatcher, set up by Karsic. Muse fires and just gets that corner that time, finding the same area she did before, this time, though, keeping it in bounds.
The second time's the charm there from Muse. I mean, a powerful blast on her first try, and a really nice job by the Raiders to dig it out, but just finding that open second in time and no real chance.
Electric start to set number 2 as Emma Hatcher gets a kill off a serve. Nicole Sullivan couldn't control that one.
Yeah, Hatcher with the ace there. I mean, just right to the back part, and we saw something like that happen in the first set, a very similar play. And with Montclair, it looks like they're swinging that momentum back just as they did in the first set.
Hit over the top, Curran saves it. Idura taps it over, and she just gets lucky on that one. Almost touched the net, just stopped right before that, though.
Yeah, Curran just getting a little too much on it on the return there, and it ends up going over the net. Ilduris, probably the easiest bury that she's had so far this season.
As we see Bella Foster start us off, as it's a 6-5 lead for the Redhawks. Cameron Muse tips it over, and it's stayed alive by Orlova. Idura taps it over, dug out by Hatcher. Rodman sets it up. Muse fires over the top. Dug out by Curran. Karsic will set up Hatcher, who sends it over, and a great hit from her. The Redhawks take the lead by 2.
Yeah, Hatcher, the spark plug right now for Montclair State. And deep in her own side there, able to throw it on over and just finds a Raider in the right spot, kind of in between over and under, and it's another point now for Montclair State.
Emma Hatcher hit the 100 kill mark, last game versus Rowan, and she continues to do a great job. And I thought it was a little too much on that, but I think it might have just hugged that corner for the Raiders. They got that point. 7-6 now.
Yeah, absolute dot to that back right corner, and it's exactly what the doctor ordered. If you're Rutgers-Newark right now, you can't let this thing get away from you. You had the early lead, you give that up, but you got to get your foot back on the gas pedal and turn the ship around.
Set up in the air for Lily Thomas, and great job by Idura to meet at the net. And CJ, you talked about it in pregame. Her defensive ability is incredible.
Yeah, and this consistency right now in this second set, more importantly, that's what it's all about. They've done a great job throughout the year, but they didn't find this consistency at the net in the first set. That time, able to get it done.
Rachel Curran's met at the net by 2. Lily Thomas just tapped it over to be safe. Bella Foster fires. Hatcher digs it out. Emily Karsic cross court to Curran, and just a little too strong, just missing that back line. But again, the ideas are there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think maybe one thing there, Curran a little far back, and as a result had to lift that thing up a little more to get over the net. Just didn't have the angle exactly right, and just probably a few inches too long, and that one a few feet too long on the other end.
Yeah, I think you said that one perfectly. Just a little too strong on it, but it's tough. I mean, I got to give these volleyball players credit. The boundaries of where they can hit the ball is very limited, especially with it's a very crowded court for what they have to work with, I feel like.
Certainly. I mean, it is, there's a reason why aces are such a big deal. And look at that. We're going to have back-to-back service errors. Seems to your point, Luke.
It seems like everything that's going one way just goes the other way a couple minutes later. So a 9-8 lead now for the Scarlet Raiders. I got to give them credit right now. They've really fought back this set.
Yeah, this is a really nice job to hang tough and to not let things get away from you when they start to go a little bit wrong. This response is exactly what they needed.
Rodman digs it out. Karsic will send it across to Curran. And waiting for the call, and the referee will give the point to the Redhawks. Great play from Rachel Curran.
And another nice job from Rodman there from Montclair State. She kind of got caught in between, able to lift that thing up almost from her chest with the overhand, and then obviously this Redhawks setup, just kind of able to walk down their opponents a lot of times when they get that correct set, and that's exactly what we saw there.
Emily Karsic back deep for the Redhawks, second in conference with 647 assists. Malsarte sends it over, dug out by Karsic. Rodman sends it over to Curran, met at the net by 2, ball still alive. Malsarte taps it over, Curran diving and digs it out. Sarah Capone now over the top and just put it in the right place to get point number 10.
And see, what's able to make that effective is when you have these big, powerful kills. I mean, and you look on the other side, the Raiders just haven't really had anything powerful. It's all just been kind of tap overs and things of that sort. So Montclair's expecting it. Where on the other end, you have to account for that for the big swing when you're Rutgers-Newark. And so, as we see again, they're just unable to find their rhythm. But I think that's something that these Scarlet Raiders need to do right now is get a powerful spike. That's exactly what they need.
I agree. They need something to change the tone a little bit, as Rachel Curran easily taps that one over for point number 12. Right now, CJ, I totally agree with you. It feels like no matter what the Scarlet Raiders do, it's just Montclair responds immediately.
Yep, I mean, it's because they're delegating. They're just kind of throwing it on over and say, hey, beat us. And that's exactly what Montclair's doing. They're beating them.
Malsarte met at the net by 2, and that was a combined effort from Capone and DeProfio there to play defense.
Well, excuse me when I said go for something powerful, because how about that block right there from Montclair State? As
the announcer jinx continues
that's
here at the Red Hawk
exactly
Sports
what
Network.
it is. I mean, they hadn't really had anything like that all set long, and then finally they looked to smoke something over the top, and you got 2 Red Hawks right there. It's just, I mean, all roads turning into cul-de-sacs right now for Rutgers-Newark.
So we see another timeout, and right now the Redhawks have a 4-point lead, 13-9 in set number 2. And CJ, I'm going to argue that set number 2 is easily the most important set by a mile for the losing team. Once you drop set number 1, you don't want to lose set number 2 because then you have to go perfect all the way through to get to 3 first.
Yep, I mean, it's all about that response, especially in set number 2, and I feel like that's the most difficult part. You drop that first set, and it's a real test to your mindset as a team and how you're able to overcome adversity. Obviously, Rutgers-Newark, I'm sure they didn't come in as a favorite in this game. They didn't expect to run away with the first set there. But I think they've done a pretty nice job of kind of limiting that damage in the second set. They haven't been perfect by any means, but nice job as you see these 2 coaches, and Coach Stawinski in his 14th year for Montclair State, and Coach Kahn for Rutgers-Newark in her 2nd season. So veteran coach versus new to the program. Certainly an interesting matchup to watch throughout the rest of this one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as we're ready to resume in set number 2. And Emily Karsic will start us off. Great instinct there from Iduris to leave that one. I thought she was going to try to keep it in.
I mean, that is 50-50 right there. That's one of those ones where if you let it go and it ends up in, you look like an idiot. But I think it's a correct judgment call there. Really nice work. Way to know her way around the volleyball court, and that's exactly the start that they needed coming out of this timeout.
Rojas fires it over the top. Rachel Curran attacks. Iduris attempts the dig, which was a great effort, but it will not be enough to save the point.
Yeah, like you said, fantastic effort, but Montclair just finding these openings on the court. Luke, you said it's super congested, but the Redhawks, it's almost looked otherwise for them. Like they always have their eyes on an opening on the court, and they are able to find it more often than not.
Their vision's elite for sure on the offensive front. As Rodman, one hand digs it out, and it actually sends it over the top. Malestri attacks, met up by 2 at the net. DeProfio's there to play defense. And it's going to be a violation. The point will go to the Redhawks. Again, it's just no matter what, and you mentioned it before, the harder spikes, it's happening. It's just the Redhawks are not allowing it at all. They're just meeting it.
No, and the Redhawks scrambling for a solution that time around. Rodman with the left fist sent it over by herself. We'll have a discussion right in front of us between the official and Ildris. There was a violation there to end the play, but I mean, I think Rutgers-Newark is just another great volley, and Montclair State just always finds a way to humble you in those moments.
It seems like it, right? That's been the story of today. It's been just a response from the Redhawks. Nicole Sullivan to Malestri, who sends it over. Emily Karsic will set up Cameron Muse, who fires successfully. And again, Cameron Muse usually is by far the kill leader, but today I feel like everybody's done such a good job. The pressure really hasn't been on the freshmen too much.
No, not at all. And when you have a ton of different players contributing in different ways, it makes it so much easier on you. It throws the opponent off. They don't know what's coming next. It just goes a long way.
Met up at the net. Molestri sends it over. The Redhawks will recover it. Katie Rodman is going to set up Sarah Capone, who taps it over to Nicole Sullivan. Scarlet Raiders on the attack. Iduris hits it into the net, and Montclair right now are just rolling.
Luke, there is an absolute roadblock on that far side right now for Montclair State, and that's Sarah Capone and Sophia DeProfio. They've done a fantastic job. They've been out there the entire set, and they've done a really nice job. Anything on that far side of the court has just been nullified.
Yeah, so we see another timeout, and right now, if you're Rutgers-Newark, you have to put everything you have forward, right? It's just right now you have a 7-point deficit, and it's going to be something that you got to look forward to. You got to get back into this off this timeout in 50 seconds. And we're going to throw it over to our friend Vincent Pacone, who has a report for you during this timeout. Vincent.
Well, guys, it has been a great game so far. Montclair is up by 7, and it's important to know that the Redhawks are 10-2 when winning that first set. This includes 4-0 in the end, Jack. Back to you guys in the booth.
Well, thank you, Vincent. You heard that one. 10-2 when leading in set number 1. And if everything continues that way, it looks like the Redhawks might have this game in hand, but got to finish here in set number 2 first with a 7-point lead. Only now 8 away from winning set number 2, but ways to go until then.
Yeah, I like the timeout there from Coach Kahn. Try to right this ship right now if you're Rutgers-Newark, and maybe throw off the rhythm of Montclair State a little bit. These first couple points coming out of the timeout are going to be absolutely massive.
Molestri sends it over. Curran with the dig, and Rodman keeps it alive. DeProfio will tap it over for safety. Orlana, Molestri over the top. Dug out by Cameron Muse. Sets up Capone, who fires and hits the shot. 8-point lead now.
The defensive rotation of Montclair State is something absolutely special. They are always in the right place. At any time that the Raiders try to find a little opening or tap it diagonally or look to the middle, there's always somebody there. Credit to the Redhawks and credit to Coach Dewinski. He's done a fantastic job defensively.
Bella Foster tried to go for the kill. DeProfio there at the net with both hands up. She's been on fire today on the defensive side.
Yeah, DeProfio and Capone, again, combining there and just creating that kind of block on that far side of the net. What I would like to see is Rutgers-Newark to kind of come to this near side and attack this side. It's something that they haven't done all set long.
Right, I agree with that. I think you got to switch it up at this point. Down by 9 now in set number 2. Actually, make that 10. 20-10 lead for the Redhawks.
And you just can't expect to get the point when you're sending it over from the back of your own court.
For Rutgers-Newark, both starts to the sets have been somewhat positive, but then it just kind of went downhill. The Redhawks recover so well. That's the thing I've noticed about this team. Iduris sets it up. And there's a point there for Bella Foster, just tapping it over in a vacant spot near the Redhawk logo.
They haven't come to this near sider yet, and that's probably the farthest that way that they've come. They were in the middle there. Bella Foster able to tap it through the middle. I would like to see them attack this side more. That's a great start.
Orlana is going to try to put a serve in here. Down by 9, 20-11 in set number 2 here at Panzer, as Cameron Muse's dig actually sends it over the net. Molestri at the net again, and met up by Capone and DeProfio. Those two together right now have been very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, we got to get a counter at this point. How many blocks have those two able to come away with in the second set? It's been absolutely fantastic, and honestly, it's won the set for Montclair State in my eyes.
It has. It's been a defensive game, as we see Katie Rodman there with the kill right off a serve. On senior night, our two seniors are having a great game so far.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and Rodman leading the team in aces, racking up another one there, and it's been a special night for the two of them. They've stepped up when it matters most.
Cole Sullivan sets it up for Bella Foster. Up in the air, Rodman up in now for Capone, who fires and hits it again. 2 points away now from taking set number 2 for the Redhawks.
Awkward positioning there for Montclair State. Ball rolling off the top of the net. Thomas got a piece of it. That was able to allow them to kind of play it up with an extra hit, set things up, and Capone doing the rest.
Katie Rodman over the top, too far on that one. It's going to be a service error, but especially now with an 11-point lead, you really could afford to make a couple mistakes.
And what we've seen is mistakes at the beginning of the set if you're Montclair State, and then the next 20 points or so are basically flawless.
And a service error the other way. It's been just, there we go. So now it's going to be a set point for the Redhawks in set number 2, 24-12. They have double of what the Scarlet Raiders currently have, as Emma Hatcher will start off this point, a huge, huge set point coming up potentially. Dug out by Sullivan. Up in the air by Orellana. Iduris tips it over, and never mind, it hits the net. The Redhawks take set number 2, 25-12.
Luke, make it 13 straight sets that Montclair State has now won. I mean, can anybody play with this team right now? Can anybody play with this team?
I don't, you know what, I think they're just way too dominant right now, and it makes sense why they got the 1 seed in the playoffs, and looks like they're going to deserve that first round bye, which they will get. Everything's on the court right now just absolutely perfect. I don't even have anything to critique. It doesn't even matter who coach has in as well. It's just the subs turn out to do their thing, and it's just something that continues and continues every game.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the depth throughout the pregame a little bit at the start of the game, but there is just a team, you know, it takes a certain type of team as we'll see.
Going to send it over to Vincent Pacone, who has a report for us, actually an interview in the stands. Vincent. And sorry about that, some technical difficulties there. Couldn't connect to Vincent's mic. We might throw that one back in just a moment, but in the meantime, CJ, what have you seen so far in set number 2? It's been pure dominance. Yeah,
I mean, like you said, pure dominance. And in both of these sets, they've come out a little bit slow, and it looks like, is Rutgers-Newark going to pull off a little bit of a run here? Are they expecting that? And Montclair has stood up to the test, as looks like Vincent has some things figured out. Can you hear us, Vin?
All right, guys, I'm here with Z and the men's volleyball team for the 3rd time's a charm here. Guys, how we doing?
Oh, great! Oh, yeah! Let's go!
All right, guys, so we're here supporting the Redhawks. I mean, this is such a great Redhawks spirit. I mean, what does it feel to be here?
You know, we're just out here supporting the women's D3 team. We just want to show love to all of them, and, you know, we just hope for a great game. And as we can see, it's going good so far, so yeah.
Yeah, and you guys have been having a great chant. I've announced a couple of the games here. I've never heard the chant. I love it so much. Any creativity decisions that came into it?
No, we're all a part of the men's volleyball club, so we all know, like, the chants that we use in games, so we just bring that and we bring it to the court for them, you know, support.
And are we here specifically supporting any player or just the entire team entirely?
We're here supporting the entire team. I'm also supporting number 16 because she helped me out when I was training for volleyball, so yeah, shout out number 16.
Awesome, and if there's anybody out there, I know I do, where can we watch you guys?
You can watch us at the Montclair Men's Volleyball Club page on Instagram. Check us out, and we post our games and our practices there as well. We also have a YouTube channel.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I wish you good on your season, and can't wait to hear more of the chants.
Let's go, Reynolds!
Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Vincent, for that one. I love to see the club team supporting the real team here, and I was wondering who was so loud. It was the men's volleyball club
I heard it
team.
every time. MSU on the spike. Fantastic chant. And how about the MacBook in the background? We got the YouTube stream up in the middle of the interview. Absolutely fantastic. We love to see it.
Yeah, and we're also joined by Megan, who's kept our stats today. And she's highlighted the top 2 seniors, number 10 and number 2, who's been the standout performers for today. And I totally agree with that. I think they've both been great defensively. Rachel Curran leads the team in kills tonight. It's safe to say that Coach Stawinski will be missing them next year, regardless of the young talent that they've acquired.
Yeah, absolutely. And you really see it on Showcase tonight when he kind of put them on a pedestal. And obviously we have more eyes on them being senior night, but this is night in, night out for them. This is nothing new. They are always ready for the test. They always step up when needed. They are great leaders, and they have put this team in a fantastic position, not only in this game, but in this season and for this program as a whole.
And we're going to start set number 3. It's going to be a sudden death situation for Rutgers-Newark. Scarlet Raiders cannot lose this set. Otherwise, there'll be another sweep for the Redhawks, which is something that they've really had success with over the season. And we talked about it. 7 in their last 10 have been wins, and then 6 out of those 7 absolutely clean sweeps. We're going to see how it goes here. Rachel Curran going to start us off. Dug out by Malestri, who switched to libero. Bella Foster tried to tip it over. DeProfio met them at the net. Karsic will set up DeProfio, who spikes and met up at the net on defense. Rodman sends it to Capone, who taps it over. Going to be a chance for Iduris to tip it over, and Rachel Curran with a great defense. Capone got fingertips on it. Too strong from Cameron Muse. Starts off with Rutgers-Newark on the board first.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the biggest change. Jaden Sima Malasarte in now as the libero. She is tied for the most sets played on the team. She leads the team in digs, and after she has played libero a solid amount this season, and after the first 2 sets, RNU electing to make that switch. We'll see if it pays off, and she'll start her set with a service error.
Service error there, so we're going to be tied at 1, and still watching that kill count from Malestri, who has 99 career kills right now, 1 away from 100 just as a freshman. It's a pretty good milestone. We'll see if she can get it tonight, as Rodman will send it over the top. Tapped over by Orlana. Karsic up in the air for Sarah Capone. Dug out by Malestri, 1 hand. Iduris is going to have to fire it over. She will. Muse taps it up. Karsic sets up Capone, who fires. A diving save from Malestri, keeps it alive. Nicole Bell. Wow, this is a rally, CJ. Cameron Muse over the top.
This is NJAC volleyball right here.
At its best. Going to try Cameron Muse again. 3rd time's the charm. Maybe not. It's going to go under the net. Red Hawk point. But both sides really putting an effort.
Beautiful volley. I mean, Luke just kind of swinging back and forth. We had spikes, we had taps, we had dives, we had digs. Just a really nice job by both teams, and it was the Red Hawks able to come out on top of that. Could have gone either way, though.
As we see Katie Rodman there with the kill off the serve. But, yeah, like you said, CJ, all of the above that we saw in that last point.
And it seems like everything 50-50 right now is just swinging Montclair State's way throughout the entirety of this match.
Yep. You're right. It's been a lot of time. We've had a couple rallies like that we just saw previously, as costly errors like that are just not going to fly in the set.
Yeah, no, especially when you don't come out to the set as strong as you did last time. This is just, it can't happen, you know. You're down 2-0. You need to throw yourself back into this game by any means possible. That's not going to do it.
And a service error on the other end from Katie Rodman, so it will be a 4-3 lead for the Red Hawks. So
interesting little run there from Katie Rodman. 2 aces and then a service error.
It happens.
Full swing of emotions.
It happens. I couldn't do it in gym class, to be honest with you. So
I was always an underhand person, so I can't say for sure. Overhand doesn't look so fun.
Emily Karsic up in the air for Lily Thomas, who fires it over, and it's dug out. Nicole Bell met at the net by Thomas, and that time recovering on defense to earn the point.
Yeah, nice job. There's Thomas right in the middle again, just kind of anchoring this defensive side. And we'll see what Rutgers-Newark elects to do. It looks like they're going toward that right side a little bit more this set, which I like to see from them. They just have to execute.
Cameron Muse spikes it on the Scarlet Raiders to hug that corner once again. 5-3.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, another point or two here from the Red Hawks. If we see a timeout from the Scarlet Raiders, something has to change. The energy level is not where it needs to be right now.
No, something's gotta give for the Scarlet Raiders right now. They're still trailing by 2. As Hatcher sends it over, Kalaj dug it out really well. Ayuris sends it over. Karsic to Muse. Cameron Muse hugs that corner, this time on the right side for the kill.
And honestly, the Raiders are even lucky that it got to that point. I mean, we got 2 different players combining for the bump back there. There's just not enough communication right now. We said communication, one of Coach Stawinski's keys to the game, and it just hasn't been there the other side.
And we see a service error from Hatcher, but everybody is okay with it. They said keep your heads up. We're just going to shake it off and continue.
But the communication, like I'm saying, I mean, you're seeing Coach Stawinski's communication come into play here, and you're seeing Montclair take full form, and they're playing complete sets each time around. On the other side, we've got players running into each other. They're out of position, and it's just tough.
And on
it's
the
tough
other
to win
end,
like that.
Service error from Iduris, so it's been...
Yeah, I mean, is that the 3rd time now that we've seen back-to-back service errors from each team?
Yep. It's been a good amount of those today, actually. We'll get you the number on that. A lot of errors today. As Brian Batista checks back in and sends it over. She receives it back right away. Curran fires and hits the shot on the left corner. Those corners for the Red Hawks on offense seem to be the hot spot.
And I hate to be a broken record, but another kind of miscalculation set that up for the Redhawks. There's no attack right now for Rutgers-Newark.
Molestri digs it out for Arella. Tapped over. Curran digs it. Karsic will set up Emma Hatcher, who fires it up in the air. Scarlet Raiders are forced to hit it over first time. Emily Karsic again to Thomas. Too strong on that one. It'll be an 8-5 lead to the Redhawks now.
Thomas actually does those kind of running plays over the net often, and that time just throwing it a little far, and that's something that you can have that can happen when your footwork's just a little bit off.
Again, thanks to the lead that Montclair's had for most of the match today, it's been, again, the mistakes they could afford to make. Rachel Curran sends it over. A great effort that time by Bella Foster, but it won't be enough to save the point.
Yeah, I mean, just straight power there, Luke. I mean, we're just going to take our best outside hitter, and we think we can outpower you, and that's exactly what happened. Rachel Curran getting involved and has done it all throughout tonight's game and still finding ways to get points on the board.
So we're going to see Ferry back in, who you're going to see on the serve right now. Bella Foster attacks and gets the kill. A big point there. Just got to keep, you really don't want to fall for the Redhawks down by 5 or more points in the set. I think when the Redhawks get to that 5-point lead, they just start rolling. So right now it's a 3-point lead. That was a big point in my opinion.
Yeah, these are some big points coming here for Rutgers-Newark, especially as we work our way into the teens. They're going to have to go on a little run.
And that time, another service error. They're piling up now for the Scarlet Raiders.
And you come up with a point, you start to do things right. You find that opening, and credit to the Raiders, they did a really nice job. It's something that they haven't done all that often throughout today's game, and then you just can't follow it up. The service error gives it right back to Montclair State.
Karsic over the top, dug out by Molestri. And that time, actually it's going to be a net violation, I believe, on DeProfio.
I believe the block went out of bounds.
Okay.
Over on that far side, and we've seen DeProfio and Capone over there just kind of holding that side down. We saw it last set, and they combined for the block again here. I believe it's DeProfio who ended up getting the hand on it and just went a little bit out of bounds, but nice defense.
It's been their day today, I think, especially defensively. And the two of them paired up together is a great duo. Karsic up in the air for Sarah Capone, who's met at the net. DeProfio saves the point. Capone tries it again. Molestri over the top. Met up at the net by 2. That duo just keeps on going, CJ.
And how about the feed from Malasarte that time? It was a little bump over behind her head, and she finds Ilderis over on that near side, and the block couldn't be returned. And maybe this is the run that we were talking about. This is absolutely important and absolutely crucial here to get a couple points.
Batista dug that one out over the top to Curran. Karsic will set up Katie Rodman. Rodman will set up Capone. Capone sends it over the top. And just a little too strong, but again, aiming at that back corner.
And if this is the thing, if Montclair State keeps their attack in the middle, they're going to run into issues like that. They got to get back to the outside where they've been able to find all of their success.
Another service error for the Scarlet Raiders. That time, Sabrina Susquingua. It's been just too many of them today, CJ. And in the fact that they're even just only 2 points down in the set, I would think is somewhat lucky.
Yeah, imagine if you limit those mistakes, Luke. Imagine what the score is right now. You know, these are just things that pile up, especially at the end of the game. You go back and you look at the score, you look at the box score, and these are things that are just absolute killers.
Too many errors for the away side. As Rachel Curran will get the point. The Raiders try to let it run, but it just hit that line.
Yeah, it was a split-second decision there. Malasarte letting it go, and that one just catching the back line. An absolute beauty of a serve there from Curran.
It's difficult to tell for sure. That one was going to be really close. Bella Foster attacks and gets the kill.
Yeah, nice job there, and they go right to the middle, and just an opening. Montclair all spreading their way out to the outside, and the attack there, and another massive point, especially in this point of the game from Rutgers-Newark.
12-10 lead for Montclair State here at home as they continue to roll here at Panzer Athletic Center. Just spiked over the top that time by Iduris, who's really kept them alive so far today. I don't know where they would be without her.
Yeah, really nice serve from Malasarte to start that off as well, and just Ilderis able to finish the job, put the finishing touches on another point, and a chance to even it up right now if you're the Raiders.
Now Lasarte sends it over. Cameron Muse dug it out. Fires over the top, met up at the net. Still alive. Muse with the double hit, and it's going to go to the Raiders. But again, it's been a very good battle, and we're somehow tied at 12.
Yep, we are knotted at 12. Just a little weird positioning there from Muse right under the net. Couldn't get anything done, and that dig just couldn't get it on over the net. And like you said, interlocked at 12 somehow.
DeProfio over the top, and I think it might be a net violation. Either way, went out of bounds. Going to go to the Redhawks. And I'll tell you what, CJ, imagine how close this would be, or what the score would be right now if Rutgers-Newark didn't commit so many service errors. They had way too many to start off, and maybe they would have the lead right now.
You can say each time that it happens, you know, shake it off, whatever, but these things pile up, and they could be in the lead at this moment.
Iduris met up at the net by Lily Thomas and Sarah Capone. Between DeProfio, Capone, and Thomas, they are set up in the front.
Yeah, they have made their presence felt all day long, and we said there's not a lot of blocks for a lot of these players on this roster, certainly not as much as RNU, but they have made it work.
Orlana, Bella Foster tips it over, and I like the effort from Rodman. It just won't be enough.
Yeah, great job by Foster, and I think Montclair may be a little bit hungry for another block after the last one, and just able to take advantage of that soft little touch over the top, and that finesse keeps things close.
So 14-13 lead. Rutgers-Newark staying alive. Curran digs it out on a knee. Lily Thomas over the top, and a successful point. Not much Lasarte could have done on that one.
Yeah, and it was good positioning from her. She got over to that other side of the court, played it really nicely the whole way, but Thomas just blasting one, unable to play it through.
So 15-13, the Redhawks are 10 points away from potentially sweeping the opponent. Emma Hatcher sends it over. Lily Thomas sends it back the other way. Bella Foster over the top, and the hands of Thomas that time couldn't keep it over.
Yeah, just Foster doing all she can over there, and a nice job able to get it to this near side. And I got to give credit to the Raiders. This is a part in each set in which they have kind of fallen apart, and it hasn't been the case this time around.
Karsich will set it up for Muse, who fires, and Cameron Muse earns her 10th kill of the day.
Yeah, and you keep working at that blockade over there, eventually you're going to pierce it, and that's what she's done. She's certainly dealt with a presence at the net all day and a lot of attempts to block her shot. She's tried to combat it in different ways, and the power's bleeding through that time.
Up in the air, Rutgers-Newark needs to tap it over, and it's going to be a net violation. Point goes to the Redhawks, 17-14.
Yeah, Rutgers just, one thing, they're just crowding a little too quickly right now, and I think that's what's kind of throwing off their rhythm in each of these. They don't get a great look at the net that time. That one sails long, and things right back in their favor.
A little too strong there from Brian Batista, the 4-time first-team all-conference volleyball player in high school. And this year, I mean, almost on the road to 100 kills already, over 170 digs. A very successful piece for the future along with Cameron Muse. Batista digs it out, Hatcher keeps it alive. Curran's gonna tap this one over the top. Bella Foster fires, met up at the net by 2, dug out by Batista. Karsich up in the air for Curran. And Rachel Curran continues to be on fire today with another kill.
Yeah, Rachel Curran doing it again, and she sees that opening. She is not afraid to take it off a deflection, able to get it through every Raider, and 18-15 right now, and another point can really start to make this thing lopsided.
Emily Ferry just couldn't get it over there. Will be a service error.
I like what they've done with Ferry today on the serves, particularly in these first two sets, but she's pretty much been a serve specialist today. Checks out again there, but her last couple times through the order, it hasn't gone to plan.
No, and either way, I mean, Montclair will still lead by 2. It's going to be a close set number 3 ending, it seems like.
Yeah, and this is something that we haven't seen today. We haven't seen a close end of the set. Curious as to how both teams will approach this.
Batista saves it. Curran sends it over the top and gets to that right side to get to the 20-point mark, I believe.
I mean, just a rocket there from Curran. Able to go diagonally, get the point in a big spot. Montclair holding things at arm's length for now.
Emily Karsich sends it over. Iduris digs it out. Orlana keeps it alive. DeProfio digs. Karsic saves it. Curran taps it over. Still alive. Molisarte starts it off for Rutgers-Newark. DeProfio tips it over. Still alive. We have another rally going. Iduris just couldn't hit it clean, and it's going to be an unfortunate gift away for the Rutgers-Newark Scarlet Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, they had a couple different opportunities there to come away with a solid look, and Montclair just kept delegating, but Iduris ends up whiffing on it, and it's a big point for the Redhawks.
Molisarte with the dig on one knee, and met up at the net by two. That time, Curran and DeProfio. Every single combination in the front of the net's been perfect today.
They've been fantastic. I mean, how many times have we had to say it? They come through with another block in a massive spot, and now looking to pull this thing away and cruise to a straight sets victory.
21-16, just 4 points away from getting yet another sweep for the Redhawks. Over the top, too strong.
And just an avalanche of mishappenings. If you're Rutgers-Newark right now, looks like they will take their first time out of the set. I think they were okay with how this game was going up to this point, but these last few points just getting away from them. They're all out of whack.
Right, that's it. Seems like it's almost slipped away. And for these two teams right now, I think Rutgers-Newark needs this win way more than Montclair State does. The Redhawks are currently first in conference. As you see, a little bit of chatter there from the Rutgers-Newark bench. I think just trying to figure something out here. You really only have 3 more faults to make before this game's over.
I mean, look at this. I mean, the message must have been simple. Look at this. There's 40 seconds on the clock right now, and everybody from the Raiders is back on the court ready to go. So I think the message is pretty simple right there if you're Coach Kahn. Listen, our backs are against the wall. I mean, we're 3 points away from getting swept on out of Panzer. What do we got? We got each other right now. Let's go. Let's do this thing. And it's 1 point at a time. Climb back and live to see another set. That's the message.
Give everything you got. That's got to be it right now. As Emily Karsic will resume play here at Panzer Athletic Center. Molisarte saves it. It's tipped over the top. Brian Batista, Emily Karsic up in the air for Capone, who digs. Orlana saves it. Molisarte sets up a teammate. Too strong once again. And Shayla Moody right now has had a couple mistakes in a row.
Yeah, I mean, and just not a great way to come out of the timeout. You look to try to get things done and try to swing it back into your favor. We said it 1 point at a time, but now inversely 2 points away from a straight sets loss.
23-16 here at Panzer Athletic Center in set number 3. Almost there for the Redhawks for yet another sweep. As some confusion here between the players on the court. Never mind, we're going to resume. Molisarte sets it up. Orlana over the top, spikes it, met at the net again by DeProfio. Katie Rodman, Karsic up in the air to Curran, who's met up at the net. Rodman keeps it alive. Karsic will try it again. Over to Curran, same play. And that time just a little too strong.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's being done better right now for Rutgers-Newark. They're using the net a little bit better. They're going to have to do that. They want to extend this thing to a 4th set, and Montclair with a solid opportunity there, just a little wide.
A little wide, as we're going to see Susquehanna to start us off. Sarah Capone fires over the top, an amazing dig, but it won't be enough with another teammate's help. It's going to be a game point, match point.
Yep, match point coming here. The velocity just off the hand of Capone, able to set this thing up, and we're 1 point away from the 4th consecutive straight sets victory here for Montclair State.
It is the 48th time in history these two teams have met, as Rachel Curran sends it over. Molisarte over to Iduris, fires it over. Curran digs it out. Karsic sets up Cameron Muse, who fires over the top. Still alive, Molisarte. Orella, Iduris, over the top, too strong. The Redhawks win it. Another 3-0 sweep. Just amazing. It's been perfect. What a matchup this has been. And again, the Redhawks just continue to find ways to make it look so easy out there.
I mean, Luke, we've seen it time and time again throughout each of these games. The Redhawks come in ready to play right out of the gate, and they do not let up. I mean, you look at this streak now, I mean, I believe it's 14 straight sets that they have won, and you wonder, when's it going to end? When are they going to face some adversity? The answer is never right now. I mean, they're absolutely rolling. They are dominating in every facet of the game, and they're coming away with complete team wins each time out.
Yeah, you mentioned it perfectly. It seems like nothing phases this team, and again, like, they've had a couple moments where maybe they had a couple service errors in a row, a few mistakes here and there. No problem. They make a couple subs. Coach Stawinski shakes it off, tells everybody to relax, and look what happens. An amazing performance, by the way. Again, I want to give credit to our two seniors, Katie Rodman and Rachel Curran. They've been absolutely amazing tonight on senior nights. Their special night, and again, I know the season's not over yet, but got to give the two of them credit. We're definitely going to miss them here at Montclair State University. Two great players for the athletic program, and even better leaders.
Yeah, and like we said, obviously there's a spotlight put on them today, and we were able to kind of pay attention to more of their greatness and what they bring to this team. But this is nothing new. You know, this is business as usual for those two, for Rodman and Curran. They've been absolutely fantastic all season long and really throughout their entire careers here at Montclair State. Just two incredible contributors and the perfect leaders for a Montclair State team looking to turn this page into the new era.
So it's going to be another win for the Redhawks. Their total is at 14, and we're going to be joined by Vincent Picone on the sideline. Never mind. Almost. Momentarily, we're going to have an interview from Vincent Picone with one of the winners of Montclair State. I'm excited to see who it will be. But again, I mean, CJ, just a great matchup. What was the main takeaway you had other than the great defense?
Yeah, I mean, it was great defense, and the thing was they were able to get the ball to the outside all day long. It was a key from Coach Stawinski, and they were able to get it done all day long, and that opens up holes for them. They found them. They dominated. Power, finesse, all of it. Fantastic work offensively and defensively today.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it better. And we're going to send it over now to Vincent Picone with the post-game interview. Vincent.
All right, guys, I'm here with one of the seniors, Katie Rodman. Katie, great game today and a great season so far. I mean, first of all, how did senior day feel for you?
Senior day felt amazing, just a lot of gratitude for the program, really cool reflecting on my 4 years here, and just so much joy playing out there with those girls.
And you're talking a little bit about the team and the program. I mean, what does this program mean to you specifically?
It means so much. I would say we're like a family, and I think all 4 years have just been amazing, so it's just been awesome.
And a clean sweep today. You led the team or you tied with the team with in the lead with aces. Just a great game overall. I mean, what can you say specifically about this group of women that have been so dominant out there and lead the NJAC right now, 5-1 record?
There's just so much depth in every position, so it's every practice is a challenge and a battle, but it's so fun going out there and competing. And we know that it's anyone's day out there, so it's really just awesome to play with them.
Katie, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your senior day festivities.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right, amazing interview there from Katie Rodman, one of two seniors. And, I mean, just great words from her. Seems like she's very fortunate for all the opportunities she got here, and it seems like Montclair State volleyball is going to have a place in her heart for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what better kind of example to set for your team. We talked about the young class coming in, so many new and young contributors on this team, and with that you need a veteran presence, and Katie Rodman, absolutely fantastic job. Like I said, was here back in 2021 when they lost in the championship, and without a doubt looking to get back to that point, and I think she's the perfect leader to do just that.
And momentarily we're going to have Rachel Curran now with Vincent Picone on the sideline. Not yet, though. So two seniors getting highlighted today, and both had standout performances. It's not just giving credit to the two seniors. They were arguably the two best players on the court today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was Rodman. We saw her on the floor how many different times. Obviously led the team in digs, as she does pretty much every time out. And she really just opens the floor for the Redhawks, and they're able to get it to Rachel Curran as a result of that. And she was fantastic all day, along with kills.
And we're going to send it over now to Vincent Picone with Rachel Curran. Vincent.
All right, guys, now I'm here with the second senior, Rachel Curran. Rachel, great game today. So far, a great season, almost at the end. I mean, how much has this season meant to you?
It means so much because, you know, it's literally the end of my career, and it's really sad but also really exciting at the same time. And I think we're on a really good track in the NJAC, so I think it'll be good finishing up this year.
And last year you transferred in, you dominated here, did amazing. This year you've done the exact same, become a leader on this team. I mean, what does this Montclair State volleyball program really mean to you?
It's really cool. Yeah, Coach has given me the opportunity to really shine as a leader and everything, and I get to show the younger girls how to just, play together. Like, it's literally just a family, I have to say.
And actually, I got to talk to Coach prior to the game, and he told me that you and Katie did a great job of bringing the freshmen in, even while you guys were in Italy. So can you tell us a little bit about that, about how you've brought this freshman group in, how you really embraced the Red Hawk spirit?
Yeah, it was tough to do in Italy, but, we would FaceTime them and everything. And we would just hang out when we got back. Preseason was also a big key to like, team bond and everything. So, yeah.
And Rachel, you led today with 13 kills. The NJAC, you got one more game. You're at the top right now. I mean, what does this feel like? Senior season, top of the NJAC. What's going through your head?
I'm just excited. I'm excited to finish it off strong. Yeah.
Rachel, thank you so much, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your senior day festivities.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
Well, thank you, Vincent. That seemed like an amazing interview with Rachel Curran. Looked like a little bit of a bittersweet moment as well. I think she's very happy with what she's done here, but it sounds like this place is going to mean a lot to her. And very nice words for Coach and her teammates.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a wide range of emotions on senior day. You're celebrating yourself and all that you have accomplished out on the court, but then at the same time, there's also a job to be done. Certainly she stepped up to that all day long, so very impressive work from both of our seniors. Rachel Curran, well done today.
Two players that are really going to be missed at this program, but amazing game from the Red Hawks, and way to roll. I mean, just sweeping the opponent once again. You said 14 straight sets in a row, and I believe that is going to do it here on the Red Hawk Sports Network. Montclair State are ready for the playoffs just about. They grabbed their 14th win, 9th home win, and 5th conference win. I'm Luke Sirianni. He's CJ Staniak. We want to thank you for joining us. Everybody have a good night.